The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
Tammy, your husband is addicted to porn?
Yes, and he's my ex-husband now.
Okay.
We got divorced in August, and I'm just concerned about my two sons. I have a son that just turned 13, and I have a son that's 16.
Okay.
And they since the divorce in the last 6 months, they have seen porn on my husband's phone. So I told them, Dad's phone is now off limits. Don't even ask him. You have your own phone. Just use your phone to call me. Don't touch Dad's phone. But it's concerning to me because I don't want them to go down the same road that my ex-husband has gone down. So is this enough basis to go back and him lose more parental rights or?
What was that? I missed what you just said, Tammy. What is that? You mean lose parental rights?
Yes, basis on losing more parental rights.
It depends what you mean by porn. If he just saw a naked woman, that's not bad. If he saw a naked woman in action doing XXX rated things, then you've got a lot of concern there. So I'm not sure what they saw on. This is on his cell phone, right, or his iPhone, or whatnot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, did you divorce over this issue? Was this one of the triggers? And
yes, that's the reason for the divorce. And he also started acting out, and he has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is still in the picture. And
so he had an affair. He had an affair. So the kids already must know something about this because they must have heard you yelling or talking. Their ears are like little antennas. They listen carefully when things are very stressful in the house.
Right. They know, though, and I've been honest with them on, I've been honest with them. They know there was another woman involved, and they slightly know about the porn issue, but not as much as it really was a problem.
Okay.
Until they found it on his phone, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't want them to be exposed to this.
Okay, and so there are two problems. One is how are they processing it? If they put it in the right category of Dad went off track and he ruined what could have been a wonderful marriage with Mom, all other things being equal, and I don't ever want to make that mistake in my life. If they make a commitment to that, to figure out how to love a woman properly and how to share a life together well, including a sexual life with one another over a long period of time, then that's one thing. If they say, if I want Dad to like me, then I'm going to be cool too, like Dad, and porn, I guess, must be good because Dad's using it, and therefore, I can look at these XXX rated things.
Right.
So how did they first? I don't know how. So what I'm saying here is you need to know how each child, your 13-year-old and your 16-year-old son, process the information, and they may or may not be willing to talk with you. How did you find out that they looked on Dad's phone and found some stuff there that they shouldn't have seen, some porn?
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh, I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
How did you find out that they looked on Dad's phone and found some stuff there that they shouldn't have seen, some porn?
They're very open. They know that was the wrong thing. They know that oh my gosh, Mom, this is something that I can't believe this. And so I think they're processing it is as not how they want to live, but but I'm concerned also. I kind of think they are processing it properly. that, I don't know that they've figured out yet I'm going to take a stand in my life because this is all a new recent thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and they need to learn about sexuality too, because it's not wrong for couples to use a little erotic story or make up their own stories for sexual pleasure. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, we go to museums and we see the Grand Masters painting naked women. We tell our kids, "Oh, look at this! This is a famous painting, or a statue or something." So you don't want to make sexuality a negative in your kid's life. Healthy sexuality. Right. So, what are you thinking? You're wondering. Number one is the exposure issue. What do you do? Do you draw a line there? Well, it depends on your ex. If he's very remorseful, if he says, "Oh my God, I can't believe I left my phone out. I knew I shouldn't have been doing this. I typically don't do this, and I really screwed up this time. I don't plan to do that again." If he has that attitude, then you're not going to haul him into court over that. But if
that's his attitude, that is, I mean, that word for word, almost what he says.
Okay.
But it's not like that's the first time I've heard it. The first time with the kids, definitely. They've never, that's their first exposure that Dad does that.
Okay.
But with me, I've heard it many, many times.
So,
oh my gosh, I can't believe you found that. I'll never do it again. That's a common thing in our marriage.
I would talk with the kids then, because it sounds good that he had that shocked response. So I think he needs the benefit of the doubt right now. I think you need to talk to the kids and just say, can we make an agreement not to use Dad's phone? And you probably have already done this, even if it's tempting. And, when you're a little older, or your 16-year-old may already look at erotica, a little Playboy here and there.
Right.
Although nowadays it may be a little more than a Playboy. But if you can get their word that it's just off limits, I mean, it's going to be so tempting to them, because sexy things can be very sexy, but they need to put it in context, because some of the sexy things definitely cross the line in their abuse. They're not sex. They're torturing a woman or torturing a man, if you want. And, that should be barred from anybody's healthy concept of sexuality. So, it sounds like you're an incredibly caring mom. And it doesn't sound like you're trying to tell them that sex is bad.
No.
So,
I want them to have morals. I want them to know that, what Dad did was wrong. That is not how I want them to have a marriage. That's
right.
It destroys your life.
And and they can see that because it destroyed your marriage. So I think you are entirely on the right track. I think you could give him the benefit of the doubt. Try to draw a pact with the kids that they won't use his cell phone. And just help them know that a little erotica is okay as they grow up, but not, your 13-year-old's too young. Thank you so much for your call.
And here's a little more from Dr. Kenner.
You are a good psychiatrist.
Thank you.
Something I can't really lay claim to after today. How could I have so misjudged that man?
Well, he's undeniably charming, for one thing, and he can be lucid for long stretches of time.
Yes, but you weren't fooled. Somehow you picked up on some tiny, tiny clue that I missed. You remember what it was?
Yes. Midway through our interview, he took off his trousers and tried to put them on the cat.
And I'm Dr. Ellen Kenner. And therapy can sometimes be very subtle. It's not always that obvious that something is wrong. And how do you pick up on the clues? And if you're living with someone who is less than comfortable, but you can't quite put your finger on it, you don't know why you've grown apart from your spouse, or you don't know what's quite bothering you with your kids, you need to ask yourself, what is it? What did I observe? What did I hear? What am I thinking? What did I feel? What's going on that made you feel uncomfortable with your partner? Put it into words, find examples of it, and try to nail the principle. What is it? Are they being more sarcastic? Are they just seeming down in the dumps, but it's so subtle and sometimes they're perky. You need to name it in order to deal with it, and then bring it out in the open, talk with one another about it, and it may be something that's happening with you. So it may not be as obvious as taking your trousers off and putting it on the cat, but you want to look for clues of things that are going a little off in your relationship so you can nip the problem in the bud and not let it get worse.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by psychologists Drs. Kenner and Locke.
Don't let money issues undermine love. Money is a common source of conflict in many romantic relationships. Many households are burdened by considerable debt, often caused by the loss of a job or undisciplined spending. Sometimes money problems are due to overspending or spending behind a partner's back, both of which constitute a lack of character. Spending more than you can afford is irrational. Money conflicts can be a serious problem, even in partnerships that are otherwise promising. Both partners should know how much money they have, where it is, how it's invested, what future income to expect, and the details of their expenses and debts.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.